Hi, I'm Dave Baker, and I'd like to talk with you about some comic books that I read. Uncanny X-Men, Outcast, Suiciders, and Hawkeye. First up this week is a book that's actually from last week, Uncanny X-Men 34. This book sees the resolution to the Mystique storyline that's been going on for the past 30 issues or so. Really interesting stuff. Mystique has been kind of plotting behind the scenes and has turned Madripoor, the formerly Hydra-run island, into a mutant safe haven. She's been bankrolling this all by selling mutant growth hormone, by siphoning off Dazzler's blood and then selling it to people and making super mutants. It's been a really fun kind of crime story that's been in the background of all of these Uncanny story arcs. And this one finally sees her being brought to justice by, you guessed it, Dazzler. Dazzler tracks her down and the confrontation is awesome. I can't recommend the book high enough. Uncanny X-Men 34. You should go check it out. Next up this week, Suiciders number 4, written and illustrated by Liber Mayho. This book is super fun. It's kind of a post-apocalyptic future sport book. Think Rollerball meets Mad Max, set in New Los Angeles. I really like it. Specifically, this issue is kind of a film noir issue where this reporter finds a passport to the Saint, which is kind of the Mad Max future sport character. And he's kind of going around, he's being pursued by all these people, and everyone has a vested interest in keeping the Saint's identity secret, which is really interesting, and the details of that are slowly being unraveled. I really love the book so far. Liber Mayho's illustrations are just wonderful, and the writing is actually really great from him too, which I didn't think I was gonna kind of be all that into, but I really dig it. I think that it's definitely worth checking out, and it's a book that not a lot of people are talking about, and I wish that they were. Suiciders number 4. Next up this week, Hawkeye number 3 by Jeff Lemire and Ramon Perez. The book is really fun. I would just like to make the disclaimer that it's not the previous version of Hawkeye by Fraction and Aja, which is like my favorite version of Hawkeye ever, and probably most people's favorite version of Hawkeye, honestly. It's cool, it's a spy story, it's Clint and Katie up to their usual tricks and shenanigans. This time they're kind of taking in a group of mutant, genetically modified kids who have powers, maybe? They're weapons, so S.H.I.E.L.D. is like, we don't know what to do with them, we may kill them, and Clint and Katie are like, no, we're gonna take them away, and they break them out of a S.H.I.E.L.D. facility. So it's kind of self-contained, so it somewhat honors the previous version, but it's just hard when you follow, like, you know, multiple Eisner Award-winning, character-defining run. Like, how do you match up with that? I don't envy that task for Jeff Lemire and Ramon Perez. I really don't. The really interesting thing about this issue, though, is that the bottom kind of third of every page is a watercolor panel that doesn't connect to the main storyline of them breaking these kids out. It's a really interesting format that you would kind of tell two stories simultaneously, and one of them being the primary storyline and then the other one being a kind of B story, that at the end it switches, which is really cool. I hope that they do more of that kind of stuff, because that's the kind of stuff that will hopefully kind of differentiate this volume of Hawkeye from the previous one. Yeah, for me, this Hawkeye is probably a wait for trade, but I'm gonna keep picking it up in the hopes that it will kind of get better. Yeah, so if you're really into Hawkeye, pick it up and trade. Finally this week we have Outcast number 9 by Paul Azaceta and Robert Kirkman. I love this book. I feel like I say the same thing every time, that it's super murky and atmospheric and really well paced and it feels like a TV show. But it's true, it's so fun. I can't recommend the book high enough. And this issue specifically is kind of a big turning point where they reveal how a certain character is going to interact with other people later down the road. And I can't get over how cool this book is. I absolutely love it. And I hope everyone is reading it. I feel like I don't hear a lot of people talking about this book either, which is really strange because it's Kirkman, and Azaceta is like an amazing illustrator. But I feel like it gets written off because it's getting turned into a TV show. I don't know. I love it. It's great. You should go pick it up. I'm Dave Baker. Those are the comic books that I read this week. If you'd like to read comic books that I write, you can find them at theactionhospital.com. If you'd like to subscribe to our channel, that'd be wonderful, because then I can talk with you about more comics at a later date. If you choose not to subscribe to our channel, I can't be held responsible about what will happen to you or your bodily safety. That's